This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it. Even on a Cyber Monday, it does not matter who the host is. Anyways, how are you? Today is Monday, November the 27th of 2023. Day 331st of the year, and only 34 days left to go. Anyways, how did you survive the Thanksgiving time frame? Did you have fun? Did you do anything that was worthwhile? Did you do anything that you'd be proud of? Did you do anything that you'd want to smack your mama? No, that's not what I meant. I don't even understand what that means. So there you go. Anyways, I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. And it's super happy to be back, but we're also hanging out with those people over there.
Radio.
So there you go. There you go. A lot of stuff going on as we are coming out of an interesting time frame over the last little bit. So did you do anything exciting? I mean, I really want to know because, listen, I know of people that have traveled across, a good chunk of the states just to get to where the hell they were trying to get to set everything up, to be there for the holidays and all that kind of fun stuff. So I hope that, you were able to do something that was transformative and made you happy because, it's a great time to be thankful for things. So let's talk real quick. So it's been a while since we hung out. Apparently, I had all kinds of more issues on these servers than what I thought. So it looks like if you hung out with us, our Tuesday episode for Safety FM with Jay Allen didn't come out until Wednesday. It looked like the one that was supposed to come out until Friday got stuck in the server, never came out. So we're going to have to do a couple of things to get you back. Just so you know if you were hanging out with that side. So don't think that because the Rated R Safety Show was gone, so was Safety FM with Jay Allen. I guess to some extent it was, but we'll take care of all that stuff, so don't worry about that. We'll get you all settled this week with everything going on. So this is the week that everybody kind of looks into and everything starts getting weird because, look, what's going to happen here in the next few days is this. The calendar's going to flip. We're going to be in December, and then you kind of start going through the motions. It's like it's year end. We start going through everything to make sure that everything's going on. I have like more events scheduled this week than I have had any year than what I normally do because it seems like this is. I'm not going to say it's a chill time, but it's normally not super busy during that time frame. Okay, so there you go. I guess we needed some DJ horns with that. Anyways, with that being said, if you're not familiar with the show, let's talk about how the layout of the land works. If you want to interact with us, it's simple. You go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. We have some professional broadcasters that come in. They talk about the sequences of shit that's going on because that's pretty much what they do. They'll give you everything up to date as possible. Yeah, that's an important portion here. Our news centers are up to date as possible. Listen, I have news that is coming in real time. Is the way that it works. So that's what I try to give you as it's coming across our desk, and it's already been vetted by the time that it gets here. Most of the times we don't want to tell you exactly what's going on. So there you go. So if you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com will get you there. We have some text messaging options, some audio options, some video options, just for option purposes. I will tell you the best course of events are text messages. For some reason, I seem to pay more attention to that than anything else. I don't know why. It's just the way of the land on how it works out. So you got that. What else do we have? So what else can I share with you? Oh, yeah, I got this. As we do our stuff, you can interact with us, as I said already. If you do it on social media, not going to be real time. Just doesn't work out that way. I don't know why it doesn't work. But as we sit here and sit back, we'll talk about the things that are about safety and the news and safety. Some people like that. Some people don't. Why the news portion? Well, I think it needs to be topical. Why the safety portion? Well, that's what the show's always been centered around. A versionality of safety, good, bad, or indifferent. So there you go. There you go. That's it. So with that being said, why don't we get it started? Let's see who's hanging out with us this morning. Let's start it off with, we have Mark Mayfield waiting in the wings, wanting to talk to you about the news. So why don't we do that right now?
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. President Biden says he's talking with leaders in the Middle East in an effort to extend the 4-day ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Biden said the goal is to allow the release of more hostages. Speaking to reporters in Nantucket, Massachusetts yesterday, the president expressed relief over the release of 4-year-old Israeli-American Abigail Edon and other hostages.
She's free and she's in Israel now. Those who are now wrapping Abigail in love and care and the supportive services she needs.
Biden called it the product of hard work and vowed to continue a diplomatic push until all the hostages are returned to their loved ones. Political leaders are discussing Saturday night's shooting in Vermont of 3 students of Palestinian descent. Burlington police say their investigation is in the earliest stages and have not publicly said if they have a motive. While authorities haven't indicated whether or not they're calling it a hate crime, the Council on American Islamic Relations announced it's offering a $10,000 reward for the arrest and conviction of the perpetrator or perpetrators. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders called the shooting shocking and deeply upsetting and added, "Hate has no place here or anywhere." The post-Thanksgiving travel rush is reaching record-high numbers for some airlines. Chris Coraggio reports.
American Airlines says it flew almost 6.5 million people over the Thanksgiving holiday, the highest number for the airline over the period. Things won't stop because the holiday is over, as American says it had around 6,100 departures scheduled for Sunday and Monday. Chicago O'Hare has been the airport most heavily affected by delays on Sunday as snow moved into the region in the morning. Roughly 40% of flights originating from the airport saw delays on Sunday. I'm Chris Coraggio.
And memorial services for former First Lady Rosalind Carter are set to begin today. The former First Lady will lie in repose in the lobby of the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library in Atlanta. The wife of former President Carter passed away earlier this month at the age of 96. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Hamas says it wants to extend the pause in fighting with Israel and release more hostages. Japan, China and South Korea say they're looking to realise a leaders' summit as soon as possible. Rescue efforts for 41 workers stuck in a tunnel for 2 weeks in India have hit a series of technical snags, and reports say an ethnic minority group in Myanmar has taken control of a major border crossing to China.
Safety never sounded so terrible.
Rated R Safety Show.
The chair of the House Intelligence Committee says American hostages should have been among the first to be released by Hamas.
Especially since American aid is going into Gaza right now, into northern Gaza as part of the conditions that Hamas had.
Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, Republican Congressman Mike Turner of Ohio said the White House needed to make that a condition of the deal that has resulted in a temporary ceasefire. Turner acknowledged the likelihood that Hamas is deliberately delaying the release of American hostages to use them as leverage for bargaining. While Turner gave credit to the Biden administration for stepping up in negotiations, he was quick to add that the American people would expect no less. A Republican congressman says he supports House Speaker Mike Johnson despite voting against Johnson's recent spending bill to prevent a government shutdown.
I don't think that most Republicans blame Speaker Johnson for the challenges he's facing. Those were created during the McCarthy time period.
Speaking on CBS Face the Nation, Ken Buck of Colorado says he believes Johnson is trying to reduce government spending and is going about it the right way. Buck added that unlike former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Johnson will not face a Republican backlash for reaching across the aisle to get his spending bill passed. Congress returns from Thanksgiving break today with a full load of legislative business to take care of before the end of the year. The 3-week-long Portland teachers' strike is over. On Sunday, the school district and the teachers' union reached an agreement on a tentative contract. The Portland Association of Teachers says it gives teachers pay raises, more time to prepare, and additional mental health support for students. The school district released a statement saying they're relieved students will return to school. Classes will start 2 hours late today. And the Kiss End of the Road tour is back on the road. The band had to cancel its final 2 shows in Canada and this past Friday show in Nashville when Paul Stanley was sidelined by a bout of the flu. Kiss was back on stage Saturday night in Indianapolis. Kiss is scheduled to play in Rosemont, Illinois tonight and in Baltimore on Wednesday, before wrapping everything up with the shows Friday and Saturday night at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, The Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Olivia from Washington. Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that mommy and daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Well, you know that here at Safety FM and Radio Big, we're always trying to look for life hacks. So with the busy season just around the corner, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for your jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kits, can help you fuel up with fast chef prepared, dietitian approved, and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 weekly flavored packs. Dietitian approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. All you need to do is head over to factorsmeals.com/safetyfm50 and use code safetyfm50 to get 50% off. That's code safetyfm50 at factormeals.com/safetyfm50 to get 50% off. Go there. Do it now.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely, miraculous Monday. So, yeah, that's what's going on. The Monday after Thanksgiving. You know, also known to the world as Cyber Monday. So, do you, do you have anything going on that you're planning? So I'm just asking because, hey, there is a thing to talk about. So there you go. Anyways, you know what I forgot to do? Because I was so excited about talking about everything else, I forgot to talk about what the hell was going on with our good old, trending. What was trending? But I mean, I guess we'll just go into it and start talking about it because, hey, why would we not? Why would we not start talking about what the hell's going on? So there you go. Anyways, last week, the Department of Justice announced that crypto trading firm Binance would pay billions in fines as its CEO's Changpeng Zhao, who goes by CZ, would step down and personally shell out $50 million to settle charges of money laundering and failure to report suspicious transactions linked to groups like ISIS, Hamas, and Al-Qaeda. Now CZ also faces up to 18 months in prison for crimes, but is out on bail before his February 23rd sentencing date. That bail agreement would allow him to leave the United States for UAE, where he's officially a citizen as long as he shows up again for his sentencing. So there you go. Prosecutors have petitioned the judge to forbid CZ from leaving, especially since there is no extradition treaty between the U.S. and the UAE. A decision on whether CZ stays, but it's expected today. This is according to CNBC. Yeah, CNBC, just for information. Anyways, let's talk about some follow-up here for former Olympian Oscar Pisastros. Will be free man after a new year. He was granted parole on Friday, effective January the 5th of 2024. The terms of his parole include needing permission to leave the area, completing anger management program, and doing some community service. Those terms will be in place for up to 5 years. Remember that Oscar was sentenced to 13 years in 2016 for fatally shooting his girlfriend on Valentine's Day of 2013. This is according to CNN. So there you go. You killed somebody in February, and you go back, go to jail, and let's see, out of a 13-year sentence, you get 7. Almost 8. So there you go. What do you think? I mean, I'm just asking the question because you know that there's always going to be some questions when it comes up to stuff like that. I never understand on how some of those systems work, but I guess that's one of those things that you'll understand better than me.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this. Americans got a big jump on Black Friday sales on Thursday, shelling out about $5.5 billion in consumer goods. That's more than half that $3.3 billion was spent online. Overall spending was up about 5.5% year over year. An estimated $390 million in products were financed with increasingly popular buy now, pay later schemes that are often now integrated with online checkouts. That's about 7.5% jump year over year. This is according to CBS News. So what do you think? Have you already started jumping on your, Did you jump on the sales? Did you do some stuff, or were you waiting for today's Cyber Monday in regards to stuff? I mean, I don't know. I always look at it and I go, it's a weird time. I mean, do you remember years ago that Best Buy opened on Thanksgiving and the guy lost his stuff, meaning one of the employees lost his stuff, and he was all over the news because he was made to come in on a holiday? Like, I never know, because if you're ordering online, aren't you to an extent doing the same thing? I mean, I understand. I mean, like, for a long period of time, I used to go and do all kinds of interesting stuff on holidays, like on Christmas and on Thanksgiving. I would try to go to places that were open. And then I came to the realization that by me doing that, I was making people that wanted to probably be with their family have to go to work, which I was like, well, I guess I probably shouldn't do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just jacked up in regards of how I think of some of that stuff. I don't know. What do you think? Not if I'm jacked up. I mean, do you think it's the right thing to order when you know people are supposed to be, spending time with friends and family? I never know. It's kind of a weird one. So take a listen to this. It's no wonder more Americans feel home ownership is out of reach. The monthly payment of a new mortgage has doubled over the last 2 years. In January of 2021, the average payment was about $1,500 a month. Now it's over $3,000 as rates continue to burn hot. So as a result of the high interest rates, a record number of homes are selling in all cash deals. In September, 34.1% of homes sales closed in all cash deals that required no financing, and that is a 10-year high. Yeah, think about that for a moment. All cash deals in regard to buying a home. I mean, I don't know how much money you're carrying in your bank account, but geez, that seems like a lot. In regards of getting stuff moving. I mean, I don't know. Just some things to think about for sure. Really? That's what we got this morning? Okay, North Korean state media wants the rest of the world to know that the spy satellite launched last week it was working just fine. The Korean Central News Agency announced over the weekend that Kim Jong-un Jr. personally studied satellite images on American military bases in Hawaii and across South Asia. But wait, intelligence experts in South Korea say that there's no way to know if the report is actually true. So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we are talking. Why do we have breakup news here? Okay, so let's talk real quick about some things that are going on inside of the weekend box office. Coming in at number 10 was Saltburn, $1.7 million. At number 9 was Five Nights at Freddy's with $1.8 million. At number 8 was Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour with $2.3 million. And number 7 was The Holdovers with $2.7 million as well. The Marvels was at $6.4 million at number 6. Number 5, Thanksgiving with $7.2 million. And number 4, Trolls band together, $17.5 million. And number 3 was Wish with $19.5 million. And number 2 was Napoleon with $20.4 million. And at the number 1 spot, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes at $28.8 billion. Not billion, listen to me. Wouldn't that be something? $1 million. So there you go. What do you think? Did you make it out to the movies? I don't know. I'm not holding it against you. I'm just asking the question. Anyways, let's do this real quick. Let's bring some Mark Mayfield in and let him tell us about some Money Matters.
It's Cyber Monday, and it's time to look for those hidden sales. Amazon has some like a 32-inch high-definition TV for $80. There's also vacuum cleaners, pillows, AirPods, mattresses, furniture, and plenty of other electronics at huge discounts. On this Cyber Monday, the FBI is warning online shoppers to beware of scammers. Scott Carr reports.
FBI agents say scams can range from untrustworthy or outright fake websites to fake emails offering great deals and even phony charities. They say increasingly common are smaller cyber scams run by individuals or small groups, and that it's good to remember the old adage, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Analysts say online U.S. shoppers are expected to spend close to $13 billion this Cyber Monday.
The post-Thanksgiving travel rush reaching record high numbers for some airlines. Chris Coraggio fills us in.
American Airlines says it flew almost 6.5 million people over the Thanksgiving holiday, the highest number for the airline over the period. Things won't stop because the holiday is over, as American says it had around 6,100 departures scheduled for Sunday and Monday. Chicago O'Hare has been the airport most heavily affected by delays on Sunday as snow moved into the region in the morning. Roughly 40% of flights originating from the airport saw delays on Sunday.
More than 300,000 Honda Accords and HRVs are being recalled over potentially dangerous seatbelts. The recall affects 2023 and 2024 models. Some of the seatbelts were assembled missing a rivet that tightens the belt to restrain people in the event of a crash. And the opening bell rings this morning on Wall Street after a holiday-shortened trading week. At the closing bell on Black Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 117 points to close at 35,390. The S&P 500 added 2 points to end the session at 45.59, and the Nasdaq fell 15 points to 14,250. Consumer and Business News, Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for that information right there. Let's talk about it. The Dow gained about 117 points to close at 35,390 on Friday. The S&P was just up 2 points to close at 4,559, and the Nasdaq dipped about 15 points to close at 14,250. West Texas Intermediate closed at $75 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $80 a barrel. Yeah, there you go. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.25. Bitcoin was trading just around 37,500 on Sunday, and there was more than 4,175 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Sunday, with about 35 such cancellations. With an estimated 45,000 flights scheduled on Sunday, the day marked the busiest single air travel day of the year. Yeah, you got that all right. So, the busiest day of the year. Tuesday's night's Mega Million drawing will be for a $335 million jackpot or $153.1 million cash payout. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for a $352 million jackpot or $163.3 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you still have an opportunity to do so. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. For sure. Anyways, take a listen to this. Construction is set to begin today at a migrant base camp in Chicago in Brighton Park neighborhood. Despite safety and environmental concerns, the residents spoke out against the base camp during the protest yesterday.
This is inhumane. I mean, how could you put people sleeping on top of toxic land?
Alderman Julia Ramirez said that Mayor Brandon Johnson's office noticed that her crews would begin constructing the tent camp today. Ramirez criticized Johnson for moving forward with the plan following the discovery of toxic metals recently at the site. The mayor's office said that the city is confident that the property will be suited for the purpose in which it will be used. That's kind of a weird comment to say. Yeah, it's good for the purpose of what we're going to be using for. So there you go. Anyways, people are calling for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to take action against two deputies that filmed beating a disabled man. The man's attorney, Christian Concentras, says that the beating was not justified.
There was no report of a crime. There was no one who called 911 on Mr. Hernandez. And there was nothing which should have caused the deputies to have stopped Mr. Hernandez. Despite those facts, they tried to stop him. And when they stopped him, they recognized that he had a disability.
Video was taken last Monday afternoon that shows one deputy placing Alejandro Hernandez in a chokehold while another repeatedly punches him in the face. Hernandez is missing one leg. On Saturday, about 24 people held a protest in East LA where the rough arrest happened. The LASD says that Hernandez had reached for his wristband where he was hiding a loaded gun. What kind of a wristband did that dude have? And that was resisting arrest. Hernandez's mother says that the deputies involved should be held accountable.
Some of the police officers here are corrupt. You know, they're not here to protect and to serve. It looks like they're out there trying to beat up young men, you know, that are can't walk the streets or wash their cars because, you know, they're being beat up.
I'm kind of confused on her statement, but I mean, I understand some of it, but not all of it. But I guess that's how some of these things go. Take a listen to this. Migrants in Denver are bracing for the cold weather. Many for the first time while they wait for work. One Denver woman named Shannon is trying to help with supplies for those living outside.
They told me they need sleeping bags. And I think most importantly, what I've heard is they need some way to be able to work.
A new encampment has popped up in North Denver near I-70 in some families, but for most single men. One migrant named Miguel says that they don't want to live in these conditions and aren't asking for a handout, but they are waiting for work permits from the U.S. government. Let's see. Some of the organizations around have donated food, clothes, heaters, and propane tanks. However, the propane does remain illegal at public easements. Migrants are still arriving in Denver at a steady pace. A total number sent to the city last December has exceeded 28,000, with more than hundreds coming just over the weekend. Shannon from Denver says that migrants making refuge encampments in the city are struggling with freezing temperatures.
You probably aren't sleeping. It's just too cold to sleep, no matter how many layers you have.
Yeah, I mean, I would just imagine trying to sleep in that kind of condition is just not, very good overall when you start thinking about it. Take a listen to this real quick. White Lake Township out of Michigan residents are worried about a crude oil refinery plant explosion and a fire on Friday night. Carl Mahoney says that the explosions were powerful and scary.
Everybody was just in an absolute panic, if I'm just being completely honest. It was the scariest thing that I've ever witnessed in my entire life.
If I'm just being completely honest, were you not being honest before? That's my question for you. The blast could be heard for miles. Carl also says that him and his family were among several who were ordered to evacuate the area after the explosion. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Carl says the first blast knocked everything off the walls.
I was getting back inside trying to figure out what to even wear, how to think, or anything. The next one goes off, and our windows literally were caving in from the blast itself.
Did he say he was thinking about how to think? Because that's what it sounded like to me. I mean, I don't know. There you go. Anyways, take a listen to this one. State lawmakers out of Lansing, Michigan have passed Michigan's Clean Energy Future Plan. The bills are designed to fight climate change, provide more jobs, and help create healthier environment in the state.
Obviously, whenever you do something bold, you're going to get a mixed reaction, but I think overall citizens are excited that we are tackling issues of climate.
That's Michigan Senator Sam Singh, who says the bill are a great opportunity for creations and will have to save some $145 a year for energy costs per home. The legislation is expected to create about 160,000 new jobs. The plan has an electric grid that's 100% clean energy by 2040. Also, Sam Singh says the clean energy future will work to create renewable energy in the state.
One of the things I'm really proud of in these bills is that we're going to expand energy efficiency. That's going to mean real savings for customers.
Okay, so thank you very much for that one. Let's do one more before we get into the main. Take a listen to this. A resident in Colorado Springs is suing Meta, the Facebook and Instagram parent company. 21-year-old Taylor Little claims that they were exposed to addictive and graphic content that led to self-harm just at the age of 11.
I was 11 and really, really, really sad, and I wanted it to feel better. And so I tried it, and it was very quickly an addiction for me. I self-harmed every day for years.
Little says that Instagram suggested an account described as someone of self-harm diary. Little says that he was dealing with mental health issues and formed self-harm addiction of his own. They claim that they also started to receive content about eating disorders and suicide as time went on and fell into a spiral. Little's lawsuit comes at the same time the Colorado Attorney General joined a multi-state lawsuit against Meta, alleging that social media platforms are addictive, harmful to kids. Meta couldn't comment on the Little's lawsuit, but says that putting more protection in place for youth, like defaulting people under 16 to private accounts and limited sensitivity content. Taylor Littles of Colorado Springs says that Meta is too far behind in putting better protections in place for young people.
I wish someone had done this for me 10 years ago.
So there you go. A lot of interesting stuff going on right there as we are talking. So it is time to do that thing that we do around this time. Let's do the main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Now, listen, I will tell you, we talk a little bit about everything around here, and most people would say that there is a cold day in hell that would occur first before some things would have happened that happened over the weekend, and I'm going to talk about this. I want you to imagine you have an employee, and to some extent, depending on how you want to look at it, it is a disgruntled employee. It is a person that is not happy with what is going on within your organization. I mean, I'm sure that it does not take a lot to imagine that. Not saying that you have disgruntled employees, but, there are people that just don't love being where you're at, work-wise. I'm just saying, it just happens. It's the way that it goes. And imagine that this person was so popular that what they did was they went around to other places and talked about how shitty of a job your organization does for work, and that place made them sick. That place made them hate doing the work that they do. And they talked about this for years and years and years. Think about that. I mean, these are things that occur. And just imagine that when you're almost on the cusp of 10 years of this going on after this person has left, something happens that they join you again and start working together again with you. Now, think about that. Because we do work in some very weird industries. We do work in some things that you would never imagine that this would occur. And I guess that's the reason why people say never when it comes to certain industries. But think about it real quick. How is that going to look in the organization? In regards that you have somebody who publicly was going around saying how much they hated the stuff that you did, and all of a sudden turn back around, you hire them again. And they start doing work with you. Well, that happened over the weekend. And, I talk about this world sometimes of professional wrestling on how things occur. And there was a gentleman by the name of Phil Brooks that came back into that fold. And, I want to use that example for a moment. And the reason that I want to use that example is, how do you think the people around you are going to visualize that? Are they going to say, hey, that if you had a worker that was disgruntled, left, and then ended up coming back 10 years later, are you going to have these people say that they were right in regards of letting the person back, or are they going to look at it and go, no, it's not the right thing? Because listen, sometimes it's not easy looking at the life that we have with the work that we do. It's sometimes not easy doing the stuff that we get to do. And I'm just saying this because, look, not everybody's going to be happy with how we do work. And not everybody's going to be happy with your work. Not everybody's going to be happy with my work. It's just the way that it goes. So when you take a look around and you go, we brought somebody back who disparaged us across the board. Is that the right thing to do? Because listen, if somebody hasn't changed in 9 to 10 years that they were gone, well, there's a growth problem there. But as you look at it and you go, life is better to try to mend fences. Is that the right thing? And what does your staff think, especially if they've been there the whole time? So as you sit on this for a moment and take a look at that problem, do you go, it makes sense or it doesn't make sense? Do you like it or dislike it? Hey, listen, environmentally, it's great as, supposedly it's going to help morale. It's going to help things inside of the organization, at least so people think. But how do you look at it? How do you go around and say, yeah, this is the most logical sense stuff that we do? I don't know. That's why I asked the question. Think about that today, because I think that one can change the way that the organization looks at stuff. Is it okay to bring somebody back who was disgruntled and said not some very great things about your organization? Or do you look at it and go, sometimes you just have to make business decisions that are good business decisions or bad business decisions? It's kind of a really weird one when you really think about it.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms. Okay, here we are, Rated R Safety Show, hour number 1 of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. Hanging out on Radio Big, hanging out on Safety FM, hanging out on the social media platforms. Yeah, it's time to let's go. Okay, this little song right here, this is Still Pulse. Yeah, this is by Ghost Hood. Would like to thank Ghost Hood for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. We get some Rated R stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because let's go. So there you go. Anyways, yep. 44 minutes past the top of the hour. Hanging out. Doing our thing. Cyber Monday. Getting excited about doing some shopping, I guess, for some. Yep. Yeah, my gift this year, I think, is going to be toilet paper to people. Not a joke. Insider trade stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's get back into the move and the groove, and we'd like to thank Ghost Hood for allowing us to play this here. It's available. Yeah, the song's available on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music. Give it a little streamer-eamer action if you'd like. Some Ghost Hood. There you go. Anyways, let's get back into it. Let's talk about it. Workers with benefits. Yep, that's it. Here's a little something that scientists have discovered that never thought I'd hear. It turns out that men are more likely to benefit from their looks in a workplace than women. I know, right? Researchers from a Polish Academy of Science tracked almost 12,000 Americans over a 20-year period and found that good-looking men are more likely to attain better jobs and make more money than similarly desirable women. The study team wrote that physical attraction matters both for males and females' social mobility outcomes, but it is more important for males, bucking the stereotype that good looks are specifically advantageous for ladies. I'm not sure how reputable Polish Academy of Science is, but hey, any chance to get a study of good-looking people for 20 years? Hey, I'll take it. And don't worry about average-looking ladies. You're still benefiting from your looks way more than I'm benefiting from mine. So take a look at it from that particular standpoint as we are having that conversation. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some other stuff. What time is it that you usually hit the wall? Well, you feel completely drained for most of us. That's precisely at 2:36, according to a survey in a poll of 2,000 adults. Mid-afternoon crashes ties in nicely with what sometimes are called post-lunch slump. It was determined by the employees that typically face 3 big dips of energy throughout the day. Perhaps alarmingly, 12% report experienced the first-time slump before 9 a.m. And one in 3 feel it right around while they're driving. And with that impact, the energy declines have us at 12. So 21% said they found themselves crying, and 19% had arguments with their partners during these crashes, and others have canceled social plans, forgotten important commitments, yelled at their children, fallen asleep in meetings, and made errors at work. Lack of sleep and main culprit surviving responsibility. Said the combat the slumps, 37% turned to coffee, and an equal percentage to take walks outside. I take walks outside to pick up coffee. The good thing is that I'm getting up around 3:30 in the morning, and it's about that time that I hit the wall, and I'm already napping. So there you go. That's some stuff to think about. What time do you have crashes? Does it occur, or is it something that you feel that it's generally made up? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting one for sure if you think about it.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Because that's what I have, baby. That's what I have. So that's what we work with. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some other things that are going on, of course, inside of this world here, because that is what we do. We talk about a little bit about everything. And let's talk about this important thing that goes on. If the thought of ending your Thanksgiving and going back to work has you reaching for a sick day, you're not alone. Bree Tennis has some more information.
It's called post-vacation syndrome, and 31% of U.S. workers suffer from it. The dread of returning to work after time off, the endless emails and administration tasks, the day after Christmas and the Monday after Super Bowl are the top picks for the holiday illness trend, with Thanksgiving in the top 5. According to the Perelman School of Medicine in Philadelphia, you'll get your work groove back in a day or two. I'm Bree Tennis.
So are you looking to get your work groove back, or are you feeling like, hey, I don't have that anxiety issue? That's something for someone else. It's okay if you think that. Doesn't hurt my feelings, but that's for sure. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I'm ever going to tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. To find out more information, click on the section that says Find Help. All kinds of information right there for you if you are looking. All you have to do is click on the buttons. There's ones for addiction, depression and anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few things. All you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Keep that in mind as we are talking on this lovely Monday. It's a conversation we should be having all the time, not just sometime. So there you go. So what else do we have going on real quick? Let's see. Let's do this one. A Republican congressman says that he supports House Speaker Mike Johnson despite voting against Johnson's recent spending bill to prevent the government shutdown. Take a listen.
I don't think that most Republicans blame Speaker Johnson for the challenges he's facing. Those were created during the McCarthy time period.
Speaking on CBS Face the Nation, Ken Buck of Colorado says that he believes that Johnson is trying to reduce the government spending and is going about it the right way. Buck added that unlike former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Johnson will not face Republican backlash for reaching across the aisle to get spending bill passed. Buck, who announced earlier this month that he is not running for re-election, said that House Republicans feel that Johnson inherited problems that were caused by McCarthy. Congress returned from Thanksgiving break on Monday with a full load of legislative business to take care of before the end of the year. Colorado Representative Ken Buck says that Speaker Mike Johnson will not face Republican backlash for reaching across the aisle for getting his spending bill passed, as I already said. But take a listen to what he also said.
He's going to face support when he finds ways to reduce our national spending, our $36 trillion debt at the end of next year.
Buck believes that Johnson is trying to reduce government spending and going about it the right way with Democratic help.
To expect that the Democrats help us find ways to pay for the Israel aid and the Ukraine aid, I think is absolutely fair for the Senate.
Yes, it is absolutely fair. So there you go. Anyways, let's do this real quick. Let's bring some John Smalls in and let him talk about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. Today's quote was submitted by Darren. Arthur Schopenhauer said, "A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial." I love that. But I'm also a little concerned because I'm very social. So what does that say about me? Apparently, I'm not quite as smart as I thought I might be. In all seriousness, I know some super intelligent people who probably do fit this quote perfectly. I even read that Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was 3. There's some other very famous late speakers too, like Nobel Prize winner Gary Becker and talk show host G. Gordon Liddy. So there might just be something to this, and I might need to learn to speak a little less. Or who knows, maybe I'll need help tying my shoes. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
There's a growing issue of people being diagnosed with diabetes in the U.S. November is National Diabetes Month, and Dr. Griffin Rogers with the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases says millions of people are dealing with diabetes.
Diabetes affects about 37 million Americans. That's about 11% of the U.S. population, including adults and youth.
Dr. Rogers says there's also a growing number of people who have pre-diabetes. Rogers says 30 minutes of exercise each day is recommended for those who have diabetes or who are at risk of becoming diabetic. Another casualty of 9/11 related cancer, this time an FDNY chaplain, has been laid to rest. John Delendick spent 28 years with the department, but it was his time at Ground Zero that ultimately compromised his health. He died early Thursday at the age of 74. Health updates, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, some self-imploding and some airways. That's always a good thing to talk about, I guess, in combination of so. So there you go. Anyways, let's take a look around at some things that are going on. We'll talk about some things that are going on inside of the news of entertainment, but you'll do that on the other side if you go with us over to Radio Big at the top of the hour. We'll be over there. That's radiobig.fm. If you stick out here and hang out, well, you'll get to hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he's talking about the world and business of safety consulting. So, don't worry about it. He's going to talk. I'm going to talk. We're all going to have some fun. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2013, Disney's Frozen is released. It quickly becomes the highest-grossing animated film of all time and spawns several sequels that happened back in 2013. If you're looking at some birthdays that are going on today, let's see. Zoe Colletti turns 22. Morgan Davies, 22 as well. Let's see. Reed Miller turns 24. Black Bear turns 33. Shanine O'Neill, 49. Twista turns 50. Robin Gibbons, 59. Caroline Kennedy, 66. And Bill Nile, yeah, he turns 68 today. So think about that as you are going through the process. There you go. What else do we have? Let's talk about some days of the year that you can celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. It's Cyber Monday, Pin and Needles Day, National Craft Jerky Day, and Turtle Adoption Day. Yeah, Turtle Adoption Day. I didn't even know that was a day that you could celebrate, but I guess it is. And last but not least, it is also Bavarian Cream Pie Day. The Food Network has the top list of 126 Thanksgiving desserts, and even if you sampled most of them this Thanksgiving, Brie Tennis has one more.
Today is National Bavarian Cream Pie Day. It's a French custard pie from the 19th century made for German royalty. It's made with heavy cream and whipped cream and some fruit, so that makes it healthy. No saving your waistline here. A single slice has about 500 calories. I'm Brie Tennis.
Yeah, you're definitely not saving your waistline for sure, as we are talking with that one. Just think about that for a moment because, hey, seems kind of heavy, but whatever you need to do, my friends, there you go. Let's talk about Did You Know real quick. There is a right way and a wrong way to eat Pringle chips. While many of you have tempted to pop the canister open and place the slides of each chip which faces down the container on your tongue, according to TikTok users Cook in Hungary, snack on lovers place on the top of the Pringle and they slide it facing down on the tongue. Well, since most of the seasoning is distributed on that side, in 2017, Pringles stated the top of the chip is dusted with flavoring. The bottom is seasoned with coming in contact with the top of the one that's underneath it. However, they also said there is no wrong way to eat a Pringle. Well, that we already knew, so there you go. So there is a wrong way and a right way to eat a Pringle. I did not know this, so there you go. Anyways, if you need a random joke for today, I'm pretty sure I have one of those for you. There is snorers that are always the ones that fall asleep first. Why is that? If you need a phone starter for today, try this. Aside from life is short, what other phrases do you use before making bad decisions? If you need something for the water cooler, try this. The average woman will spend 1 hour and 15 minutes each week doing this. What is it? Blow drying their hair. So there you go. A lot of stuff comes to mind there for sure. I don't blow dry my hair at all, if you haven't noticed. Anyway, so that's going to sum up our time together. As I said, Sheldon Primus saying here on Safety FM, talking about the business of safety consulting. I will be going over to radiobig.fm to hang out and talk about the world of music and entertainment. If you want to come over there, you're more than welcome on doing that. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it does not make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that an airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. Duh. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.